Hey Lawn Care Nation, in this video I'm going to share a quick tip in regards to business insurance in terms of protecting yourself if your equipment ever gets stolen. Coming up. So hey Lawn Care Nation, as most of you guys know, back in July 2015, I had my whole trailer and all of the equipment stolen right off of the back of my truck from my driveway. Now, if you guys listen to the podcast, I've described in detail this many times. So I thought I would talk about the process that I went through with the insurance in recovering, some funds to cover all of the lost equipment. So basically, at the time, I've always had insurance for my business from day one. Everybody knows to have liability insurance to protect yourself in case, somebody gets hurt. If you're string trimming and a rock flies and hits somebody in the face or something like that, you want to make sure you have adequate insurance. I would suggest at least $3 million liability. $5 million would be absolutely better, but $3 million as a minimum set liability there. Also, you want to make sure when you're shopping around for insurance, they will always ask, what line of work you're in, what type of business it is, because that does affect those liability rates. So keep in mind that if you're saying that you're a landscaper, that you do lawn care, that may not cover you if you're also doing snow removal and icing or de-icing parking lots and sidewalks and stuff. So you may need to add a extra little package to your insurance to cover you in case of snow removal, somebody suing you because they slip and fall and that sort of stuff. So that's just a little side tip there as far as when you're shopping for your business insurance. Now, the focus of this video, as I stated earlier, is about when it comes to having your equipment stolen and the items never recovered, and ultimately having to make a claim on your insurance to recover, obviously, the value of that equipment. Now, back in July 2015, when my equipment was stolen, I was really bummed out about this, especially because in the back of my mind, I was thinking automatically that, a lot of my equipment was a few years old. I had some pieces in there that were right from the beginning of my lawn care business, early on, like the very first pieces of equipment I bought, and they were well-worn pieces of equipment. But because I'm a single owner operator, I don't have employees, I take care of my equipment, the items have lasted over these years. So I was really discouraged because I was thinking, a insurance company is going to look at this and say, okay, for example, let's take this Stihl or Stihl BR 500 backpack blower that I had. And say, you've had it for 7 years already. You've worked with it every day in your business. Its value is essentially, zero in the eyes of an insurance company. And I was fearful that that was the answer that I was going to get with all of the equipment I was putting together, all the equipment I was listing that had gotten stolen. The insurance company asked me for the serial numbers and the original receipts. So make sure that you keep those serial numbers and those receipts. Write them down, put them in a file on your computer as far as the serial numbers go, and the receipts. This is another tip. With tax purposes, you may not be required to keep all your receipts indefinitely. I know here in Canada, for business purposes, you need to keep receipts that you're writing off for a period of 7 years. After that, you are free to destroy those receipts. Now, in my case, there was a bunch of receipts in those past years from those first few years in business where I bought a bunch of that equipment that I destroyed those receipts because they were no longer needed for me to keep for tax purposes. I didn't clue in that I would need them for insurance purposes. So make sure if you are cleaning out your files and throwing away old receipts that you're no longer needed as far as the government goes, to make sure you go through them and hold on to any receipts of equipment that you still own. Luckily, when I buy equipment locally, I shop at two dealers all the time, depending on what brand or what I'm trying to get. And they had a record of everything that I had ever purchased from them, and they were able to reprint me those old receipts. They were also able to go through with me of my list of all the items that were stolen and provide a quotation for the insurance company of what it would cost to replace all of that equipment in today's dollars. Now that brings me to the most important part. Back in the beginning of this story, when I was telling and saying that I was discouraged, thinking that an insurance company would essentially look at that BR600, the Stihl trimmer, my Honda mower, all that stuff that I had in that trailer, and look at it and say, this stuff is well used, you've had it for years, it's essentially worth zero. What I didn't know was that I actually had a favorable clause in my insurance package, and this is probably the most important part of this video, is for you, if you're shopping for insurance to protect yourself from theft in your business, is to make sure that it is for replacement value. So not a estimated value, not a depreciated value. So what that essentially means is, if you have a piece of equipment that's stolen, it doesn't matter how old it is, it doesn't matter how well used it was, all that matters is that it's covered, and that the insurance company will reimburse you what it would cost today for you to walk back into your equipment dealer and re-buy that piece of equipment brand new. Now, of course, with any insurance package, you're also still going to have a deductible to pay, so that will take off of the total amount. But it was a huge surprise to me, especially not knowing that I even had that type of insurance, and luckily it was just something that came when I was shopping around and comparing all of the different insurances. It's just something that was included in the insurance company that I ended up going with, but not intentionally. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even know that was something that was even possible. Like I said, I always just assumed that they would give you, sort of the depreciated value of what that tool would be worth that day. So that's it for this one, guys. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. It really does help me out. It lets me know that you like videos like this. It lets me know that you enjoy content like this and that you find value in content like this. Leave a comment down below if you've ever had your trailer stolen, if you've ever had your equipment stolen, and you've had trouble or issues recovering your losses through an insurance company, and maybe share your tips and what you've learned from that experience. So if you like the content that I create and you want to show your support, these podcast t-shirts are a great way to do that. I'll leave a link down below where you can go to my Amazon affiliate store and you'll find these shirts, as well as links to some of the other products I've reviewed and use in my lawn care business. So that's it for this one, guys. Here's to wishing you guys all overwhelming success and freedom in your lawn care business. Bye for now.